Welcome back to another episode of Shaun Shorts of the Always Another Game podcast, where I'm going to go deep inside my mind and tell you stories on the highs and lows of sport and how I utilize them, not only with myself, but with my clients today. And what I want to talk about is quarters or periods. And no, I'm not talking about the lady time. I'm talking about in a sports environment. In ice hockey, we had a 3-period game, 3 20-minutes stop clock. In sports like netball and basketball, they have quarters. In cricket and baseball, they have innings. What is the reason I'm talking about this today? Why is this important to you and your daily behaviors? Now, I come across a lot of people that have a bad 5 minutes that ruin their whole day. Now, whether this is that you've got stressed at your partner or your kids, or the person who's cut you up in the car, or you've had a chocolate bar at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And these single individual moments ruin your whole day. Whereas actually they're just a small element. So when we used to play, there would be many a times where we would struggle in the first period. We would be behind or not playing very well. Now, there was another 2 periods, or if you've had 2 bad ones, there's still another one. Anything could change in a moment. But the difference is the best teams knew that was possible. They had the mindset to know that a bad period, a bad shift didn't ruin their whole game. They could turn that round. I've played with guys in ice hockey. A shift could be as short as 30 seconds. Shouldn't be anywhere more than a 1 minute. So in 30 to 45 seconds, I'd seen guys score a hat trick, scored 3 goals within that time. Now, that didn't happen often, but what it showed that it was possible. So you're losing 3-0. In a matter of 45 seconds, the game could be 3-all. That's how quick it could change. And it's exactly the same with your day-to-day life. Now, in habit term, in behavior change and habit term, we call this chunking. Now, if we put it into day-to-day terms, you've got to clear out the garage, and you open the garage door and you cannot see an inch of floor. There is boxes and shelves and bikes and all this stuff. The task seems massive. Winning a game, winning this task on the garage seems massive. Whereas if you chunk that down into smaller sections, you can start to take on the task. So, okay, I'm just going to start with this, but these 3 boxes here, this 1 box here, I'm going to control that. In ice hockey, I'm just going to focus on this next shift. We had a saying that was even or better. So each shift you went on the ice, each 30 to 45 seconds, you had to be even to not get scored on or to be better. There was one team that I played on that won the league and the playoffs. The line that I was on at the time with the other 2 players, our pure goal was to stop their other best line scoring. If we had a good game, it was because the other team didn't score on us, or their other top line didn't score on us, not whether or not we scored. So even or better. You could look at this in another terminology as well, in terms of like your eating or your daily habits. The morning is quarter 1, lunchtime is quarter 2, afternoon is quarter 3, and the evening is quarter 4, or you can break it down into thirds if you do like ice hockey. But then you look at it, it's like, okay, can I win the first quarter? Have I done what I set myself out to do in the morning, that I was going to drink my water first thing, that I was going to have a good nutritious breakfast that was full of protein and good healthy vitamins and minerals? Yes, 1. Okay, brilliant. 1-0. On to lunch. Can I do the same at lunchtime? Brilliant. 2-0, 3-0, 4-0. This could be used in the other way, that maybe you missed breakfast because you were so busy and lunch was on the run. Okay, potentially now we're 2-0 down. That is not a problem. You can still get the draw for today, or even at worst, losing 3-1 is better than 4-0, because you can build momentum. If you score a last-minute goal, you get a last-minute win in your day, that's going to build momentum for the next day. Whereas if you pack the tent and quit, the next day you're going to have your lip out, you're going to be sulking, you're not going to be at your best. And that's when you go into a slump. In sport, the teams go into slumps a lot of the time because of mindset. They don't believe it's possible. They haven't had anything to show because they haven't put that extra work in. I had a conversation with the client about this the other day, and the other way we looked at it as well. It's very easy to do a check-in at the end of the week, right? You know, you've kind of not played well, or you've not done well, and it's Sunday. Can we have a half-time team talk on Wednesday? Can we assess where we're going in the middle of the week? What is going well? What needs to be worked on to make sure that we are either winning the week or reducing the deficit, so that we can feel better about what we're doing and taking action, so that the following week we can get a win. So the sports psychology element here is a lot to do with your perception of losing or not performing well. It's not the end of the world. You have the power to turn that around the next shift. It's almost like the name of the podcast, Always Another Game, always another shift, always another quarter, always another period. There is a shorter period of time that you can focus on, that you can control, that allows you to win or to build momentum. So if you have a look today, and if you are somebody that often struggles when things go against you, or you know that you blow everything out of proportion at the smallest instant, take a look at this today. Did I have a bad morning that ruined my whole day? Or did I just generally have a bad day that I need to bounce back from anyway? Because if it's just the morning, you can then look at the second phase, the second quarter, the second period. What do I need to do to win this? What do I need to plan or prepare to take on? Because in sport, anything can happen. We've all seen the miracles. We've all seen the fascinating stories that sport has brought by people that refused to quit, that didn't look at it and go, oh, well, that person's ahead of me in the run, so I might as well not even try. We've seen people come back from the biggest deficits. It happens all the time, every week in many different sports. The unthinkable happens because that person who changed it, or that team, or that coach refused to accept that small element of their day, that period, that time was going to define the rest. Okay. So have a sit down today, whatever time you're listening to this podcast, and ask yourself, how have I done so far today? And ask yourself, how can I get a win right now that either takes me further into my winning score, or reduces the deficit, or at least turns it into a draw? Okay, because that momentum you can build from that action is extremely powerful, not only for that day, but for the next day. You'll want to get up and get more wins. Your dopamine in your brain is designed to want to win. So the more wins you can get, the more wins you can stack up, the better. Thank you for listening to the Shaun Short of Always Another Game podcast. If you've taken anything away from this one today, please share with somebody, whether it's sharing it to your Instagram stories or sending it directly to somebody who needs to hear this. And a subscribe and a like on the channels will be hugely appreciative to spread the word and help somebody take in this information that probably needs to hear it. Okay. Thank you for tuning in, and I'll catch you on another episode. Have a good day.